Hi, and welcome into Real Conversations along with Meet Me the Movies. I am Thomas Manning with the Reel to Reel Film Festival. So glad today to be joined by the co-founders of the Reel to Reel Film Festival, Noel Thomas Manning, as well as Will Eskridge. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Good to see
Thank
you
you.
guys. Well, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too, Noel. It's been a while.
And so as we approach the 21st year of the Reel to Reel Film Fest, that's, longer than I've been around on the earth. So that's pretty impressive. You got a pretty good run going here. So just where did this idea start? How long did it take to put things into motion, and just walk us through, I guess, some of the background history of its foundation.
Will, I'll let you get started, man.
I was thinking about it today. I was going over it in my mind, and one of the main things I remember is you and I had lunch. We were talking about Earl Owensby, and I'd watched the Man, the Myth, the Legend VHS documentary, which I still have in my VHS collection. Yes, I still have a VHS collection. And I remember we were talking about Earl Owensby, and I was getting into film. I just graduated art school, and then Noel and I kind of became friends and through the arts council there. And I just remember talking about, we were just conversing about independent film directors and films and stuff, and how, we wanted to provide a format for them to get some better recognition and kind of more not distribution but more eyes on some of these wonderful films. And I remember having lunch with you, and I can't remember the name of the place, but I came to Gardner Webb, and we ate at that, I think it was kind of like a diner,
The snack shop.
if I remember
The snack shop at Boiling Springs.
That's right, in Bowling Springs, yeah. And I remember we had our notebooks, and we were like, oh my gosh, we should do this film festival. And then it was just like this brainchild that we kept everything. We're like, where are we going to do it? Oh, we can do the Arts Council. And it was awesome. I mean, it was such a wonderful feeling. No, that's where I'm at with it. I remember
we would, I would do some stuff, volunteer at the Arts Council. And so I got to know you through that. And you're right, the Earl Owensby documentary, The Man, the Myth, you had seen that. And I remember you calling me, and you said, hey, let's get together for lunch. I've got an idea I want to kind of pitch to you and get your thoughts on. And we started talking about maybe having a forum for North Carolina films, for indie films, and for independent filmmakers to be able to really have a place to display their work and distribute it to a wider audience, not distribution for sale, but for eyes to see, like you said. And I remember really over the course of the conversation, you were right. We had our notebooks. We were doing, taking notes on everything. And we were sort of bouncing around questions. And I really loved our collaboration, how our ideas would build off of each other. It was almost like, co-songwriting or something.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Initially, we were talking about just North Carolina films. But very early on in our dialogue, we said, well, why stop there? Let's look at what the Southeast has to offer. But little did we know that the first year it would become an international film festival, which really blew me and you away, because that was never our expectation. And here we are 21 years later, and every year we've had international films. But it started at the snack shop, and over a conversation of Earl Owensby and independent films, Thomas, and it kind of grew from there. And we would have loved to have had a movie theater that first year to show.
That's right.
But we didn't. We didn't have a movie theater, so we made do, Thomas.
Yeah. We went to Mary Jo's and got screen material, built the screen, did it in the Arts Council, we checked out we checked out the video projector from the Cleveland County Library. I mean, it was just, that's one thing that I really enjoyed, Noel, too. Like when we were, I remember having that feeling. I mean, that's ingrained in my memory of just, neither one of us had any there was no pushback. It was just, it kept building and building and building. We're like, yes, we can do that, and we can do this, and we can do that. And thank God, Shara, was totally boss about it, just really was like, yes, this is, that'll work, you guys. I think we can do that. So yeah, it was really just
And,
awesome.
Cheryl Miller is the president of the Cleveland County Arts Council, for those that may not be aware. And she was the one that gave us the green light, and she just said, go for it. And we really did. You know, neither one of us had experience of putting together a festival before like this. We both had experience in loving films and loving filmmakers and loving independent films as well as the blockbuster films. But we didn't have experience doing anything like this. So we figured it out. And
Yeah.
we pulled together a very small team of a screening committee. And Thomas, I know you've been a part of the screening committee, and the way we did it then was a little bit different. I don't know if you want to hear about those early screenings.
Any stories you have, let's hear it.
Well, Gardner-Webb University has a facility called the Millennium Playhouse. And we were able to go over there and do the early screenings for the screening committee. We could bring the VHSs over there. They had a really nice big screen, and we would watch the movies in there. It was Jeff Powell from WGN.
Oh gosh, that's right.
Greg Tillman. I think you and I think we may have been the 4 early screening judging committee. I don't know if anybody else. I think it may have just been us.
I think so. It's what I remember. Yeah. There's
and you know, and some of those early films were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a great, you know, it spanned every facet, and you could see it. You could see the genius in some of these lower budget things, and then there were some higher budget. I remember watching some higher budget movies that were like, sorry, I mean, you know, and no offense, they would never say someone shouldn't do something, you know, but like, try again, you know, anyway, I remember there was that one that was very clearly high budget, had a couple of kind of character name actors, and it wasn't going to fly for what we were really trying to accomplish, you know. But there was some amazing ingenuity in a lot of those, and in those films. I mean, scripting and acting, and it was just amazing to see that and know that was going on underneath, you know. And I was happy that we could provide a venue to get more eyes on those films. So
yeah, and we even had filmmakers that showed up that first year for as well. And I remember it was either the first or second year I drove to Georgia and interviewed one of the animators who did an animated short that was like a 30-second animated film. It was a crime noir kind of thing. And I remember going and interviewing this guy and then bringing back and editing kind of a Q&A with some of those clips. And that was a lot of fun too, to have those filmmakers early on.
Yeah. Was that the one called, was that the one called Noir? Is that the one?
I think so. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, man. I remember watching that animation. I remember gasping, like it was so good. I was, and it was just a short, like you said, it was just a short animation, but I remember being blown away. Like that was really, you know, hit it on the head. It was really cool.
Well, Thomas, you've only asked one question and we've been talking like 40 minutes. That's what happens. We'll get together.
That's no problem at all. I'm happy to have anything you had to say. But yeah. Well, anyway, Will, there came a point where you took a job somewhere else and you kind of had to step away from reel to reel. But so when was that? And I guess, how did you feel about leaving it in Noel's hands? I guess, were you pretty confident in his abilities to deliver on the promises of the festival?
Oh, I didn't have any. I had no. Not. I didn't. It didn't even cross my mind.
Good answer.
Yeah, I really didn't. I mean, I think I was young. I was pretty young then. I just graduated college. I was painting was my real what I wanted to do, painting and music. But you know, I really wanted to pursue that ultimately. I love film. I still pull out my Super 8 here and there. I still mess with stuff. I still do things. But I realized soon after, or not soon after, but like it wasn't the reel to reel. I felt the need to move on and experience some other things. But to pursue what I wanted to do. And I had no, yeah, I mean, I knew Noel would do what we would do our vision. I mean, I had no question, no doubts at all, you
Yeah,
know.
and one of the things, Will, you were a full-time marketing director for the Arts
Yeah,
Council, which we didn't really even mention. And this was like part of your job. So you left the Arts Council to pursue the other things. And so someone came along behind you, taking on your job. I think, was that Paul Foster that came on behind you?
that's right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Yep.
Yeah, so
That's
Paul
right.
came in, and it was kind of in his hands to continue to organize it. And I just served as a community volunteer member, like others throughout the years. And we've had quite a few folks throughout the years that have been volunteer board members who have served on the screening committee or served to help during the run of the festival with setup and tear down and all that. And this couldn't happen without those who screen the films. And Thomas, you know very well, after screening 150 of them this year, that takes some dedication. It takes some time, and you've got to balance that time, and then you've got to evaluate them, and that's a lot of work. I mean, that whole process of deciding what films to show within the time frame takes a heck of a lot of work, and it did even from the beginning, because we couldn't show everything.
The way I look at it too is it almost is like, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Noel. It is like making a film. It's not just one or two or three people. You clearly have these other people that are working very hard, extremely hard, and they might be on the sidelines or whatnot, but everybody's working hard, and I remember the delegation. I remember having a conversation with Shara, and we had talked. I was getting a little stressed at one point, and I was like, she's like, just delegate it. You have volunteer, you have, whatever. And I remember being like, oh, right. I just need to tell someone to lay out the red carpet for the opening night or whatever. Right. But it takes all the rivers, all the creeks to make this big ocean, Paul and taking over, and Violet has done. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, you guys, I had no question that, through the Arts Council, everybody, with all that there was in that area, which is just, it fills my heart every year. And every time I've been able to make it back a handful of times, not every year, but I try really hard to make it back every year. And when I can, and it's amazing. It's like watching, it's a little weird, because it's like watching your child grow up without being present, but it's, if there's some weird kind of, that could be a movie in and of itself. But anyway, I think you understand what I'm saying. I don't question it at all. And everybody that works very hard. It's so obvious that everybody that has their hand in it works very hard on it.
Yeah, they still do. They still do.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at what Thomas has done this year as we've transitioned to a virtual festival. And, we were still hoping to have a physical face-to-face festival. We said, okay, we'll do the virtual as a companion piece. And that's when the Q&As with filmmakers started happening before the festival. We said, let's go ahead and get some of these done. And if they come to the physical festival, that's fine. But if not, we've got something here. And said, 14 filmmakers well, actually more than that, but 14 films. Thomas got a chance to interview filmmakers through that. And several times there were several cast and crew members that he interviewed. And those pieces are great. And I think for anybody that's watching Reel to Reel this year, check out when you go to the website, check out those Q&As, because it really does provide, it provides richness to every film when you get a chance to meet the filmmakers and meet the people behind it. I know that Will, you and I both had that every time we'd have a filmmaker come, or even when filmmakers would call us and say, hey, thanks for screening my film. I really appreciate it. And that makes a difference. It really makes a difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, I can't add to that. I mean, that just, I remember some notes, some phone calls, and then when people could, when people came down, we're able to make it for a Q&A in person, and it does make it just that much more of an experience. So Thomas, that is really cool that you're doing that I just saw, I think that'll add, I think it already does add a tremendous amount in being able to adapt to the times right now, but then still providing this, filling it with some good heart, you know, and realness, you know, so that's awesome.
Well, I'm really appreciative of everything that y'all did to kind of lay the foundations so that I could build upon it here. Like I said, 21 years later, I turned 21 in October. So that's crazy to think
Oh,
that
man.
like this thing has been going on longer than I've been around. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
Looking at it this year in particular, how closely are you going to be keeping up with it, Will? I guess since it's more accessible now that it's fully online, are you planning on pretty, keeping pretty focused on it?
Yes, definitely. We have a 2.5-year-old, so that even before the current pandemic, it's been a little tricky traveling around. So we were going to try to come this year anyway. But that being said, like I was saying earlier, that for me, it's going to be great. Marie immediately said, "Hey, they're doing it virtual, so we're going to make a movie night of it." Movie nights, plural. But yeah, I'm going to be following very closely and buying my tickets.
You know, the beautiful thing this year, Thomas, is the festival will be lasting an entire month from September 9th through October 9th. So that's the beauty of it. You've got, you know, you pay one fee and then you can watch as many nights as you want, or as many days as you want for that matter.
I just saw that. I saw that. That's so cool. I mean, talk about it. Do you want to say hey?
Hey,
say hi,
everybody.
Hello, world, wolf, or
Hey,
duck.
Wolf.
But yeah, that is really, what a way to adjust and kind of, you know, be able to turn to still to provide it. And man, I can't wait. I'm really pumped about it. Marie's, because she went once, or she's been like maybe 3 times over the years. You know, we've been together for a while now, but yeah, she's really excited about it. We're just gonna make a big pop the popcorn and yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe we'll get Dr. Watch from the animations with us.
Yeah. There's some kid films too. There's we've had a kid fest for a few years, and so we've got, I think, 3 focused kids films this year that are short that you can watch.
Awesome.
I think that about wraps up everything I have for you guys. But if there's anything else y'all just want to share about what this experience with the film festival has meant to you, and just where you're hoping to see Reel to Reel grow from here, you feel free to share anything there.
I still put it on my resume. I still have it in my CV, if that means, which means a lot to me. I think about it often. It was you know, for me, it's a little different, I think, in that it was something that we did, and then I left, you know, after the first year. But it you know, I think back that during those times and just how you know, like it has a nostalgia for me, even though I've seen it over the years. There's a deep nostalgia for me, and knowing what Noel and I were able to accomplish with tremendous help of others, and just seeing it come to fruition and being able to, it's just amazing how much it's grown. It's going to be, what, you want to go see Mama? Yeah. I can't imagine what the next 21 years are going to be like. You know, maybe there'll be this resurgence of you know, maybe we'll get back to celluloid more. Who knows? I mean, who knows what's going to happen? They'll be shooting. It'll be like 16K. Oh, 16K will be your 32K. Who knows? I mean, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think back to what you said about kind of watching your baby grow up, and you know, you and I think we put together a foundation that, you know, we were looking at 1 year initially. Let's do this for 1 year. And then when we saw that there was some fuel and some life there and some energy beyond a one time, we said, hey, maybe this is something we can continue. And we did, and it continued to grow. And as you said, you know, you watch it and you're proud of it, and you do have to step away at times. And fortunately, I'm close enough that I've been able to be, you know, continue to be part of it in some capacity. throughout the years, and I'm very, very happy about that. And now to be my son being a part of it too, that's a pretty cool thing. And now with the virtual, the cool thing about the virtual aspect of it is people who could not drive to Kings Mountain, North Carolina to watch it can watch it from anywhere. And that expands something that you and I never thought about 21 years ago. And I'm just excited about the people outside of our geographic region that are going to be able to experience reel to reel for the first time. That's something that's really exciting to me.
Yeah, I did not even think about that till you said that, Noel. When things like in the next years, after things settle with the stuff, and then, you know, would you continue with having virtual and then actually have the face-to-face? And I'd also just like to point out, I was like 2 or 3 years, just 2 or 3 years older than you are now, Thomas, if that means anything, which man. I think is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, I guess I need to set a target date to go ahead and like start building a film festival for myself.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I just think that's really cool, man. You know, like I was just a couple of years older than you, so it's pretty wild.
Awesome,
man.
Good to see you, Will.
Hey, good to see you too. I'm super excited about it. And, man, it is in the best hands I could ever imagine, for sure. I mean, no question.
And Thomas, thanks for doing this, buddy. Really appreciate you having us together.
Yeah, certainly. I'm always glad to have you guys on, and maybe we'll have to bring back Will for another episode of maybe the movie sometime. And you know, next year we can have him back for reel to reel in some capacity, however that works. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
and love them to meet me at the movies too. By the way, wanted to add that. Been digging that. Got it on my in my phone. So it's awesome.
Very cool.
Well, I'm just glad the dad hasn't kicked me off yet as his co-host. So, you know,
Good stuff.
Well, thanks again to Noel Thomas Manning and Will Eskridge, the co-founders of the Reel to Reel Film Festival, for joining us today on Real Conversations and Meet Me in the Movies. We got a bit of a joint production going on here. So we will see you guys next time, whether that be on Real Conversations or Meet Me in the Movies. Thomas Manning, thanks for joining us.
Thank y'all.
That's awesome, man. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Man,